Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just bought, sometimes I start talking before I clear my throat and it messes the whole intro up, but that's part of this show. Okay, I just bought some IOTA. This is one of my infrastructure, I call them infrastructure plays, XRP, XLM being infrastructure plays. IOTA is another one I don't know if I've ever talked about before. I bought it on Bitrue is where you're able to get IOTA. But I wanted to show you this website here that I discovered this morning. It's called cryptobubbles.net. And you can literally, it shows you how they've done for the year. But like you can go over here, pull up XRP, shows you what the price is, the day, week, month, year. It's kind of a neat visualization. Then you can go up here and you can you can populate it with, let's say you want to do the top 500. It changes out like that. What a cool thing visually. It could show you like that. I just chose all the digital assets that are on Coinbase. I think that's what that means. And then you can do like, here's FTX. Really cool visual website, but I will keep it to the top 100. That's what I like to look at. So anyway, check out that website when you get a chance. Now, I wanted to show you this from JD. XRP money is transferred from the impatient to the patient, still within the triangle. Similar to 2017 before we 17 times. Is April 2022 the month? No emotions on dips. And he's doing other charts. Now, this is his trading view, and you can see what his targets are. And he's I don't know if it shows the it doesn't really show that. I think he's looking like maybe this would be April 22. We'll see. Anyway, his targets are 561, 892, 1224, 1428. I would love any of those. I wanted to show you this. This is from Nick Burafedo. He just started working at Link2. It says, a popular question I get daily about Link2, which is private investing, one of my sponsors. What are the fees? Answer, no fees to buy, no fees to maintain, and no fees to get your shares transferred after companies go public. And for those of you that don't know, that's how it works, folks. Let's say, for instance, as an example, you bought Ripple private equity on the Link2 platform. Well, if let's say a year from then Ripple went public or Ripple was bought by someone, well, those are liquidity events. And in that case, depends on how the issue is structured and how the deal is. But ultimately, you could have those when it's sold. You could have, let's say, or a better example, let's say that Google bought Ripple. And they paid Google shares for Ripple. The way I understand it, those your Google shares that you received for your Ripple shares would literally be, you'd give Link2 a brokerage account, and they would be show up in that brokerage account at the time designated by the deal, or how it works with all the legalities and everything. Okay, or if it was sold, or if Ripple IPO'd, it would be whatever. Let's say it IPO'd and it was $50. Your Ripple shares would then go into your brokerage account, and you might have it might say, well, you can sell these shares in 3 months after the IPO, or it might be instantly. It just depends on what the rules are of that particular thing. All right. So there's our crypto bubbles. And then I wanted to show you this. The North American Bitcoin Conference starts today. Mark Cuban's going to be there. There's Rand Neuner. There's Charlie Shrem. There's a lot of big people there. And if anything interesting comes out of that, we will be sure to show it. Here's the Twitter feed. It's at keynote_AE if you want to go follow that. Now, ProCoinNews.com put this up today. Walmart is going to create its own crypto and NFTs. Folks, if you've been investing in crypto for the last few years, looks like it's about to be showtime. And you'll see up actually here too. Look, let's see. London sees record amounts of crypto advertisements, and we already know that Crypto.com is going to do a Super Bowl ad, and I'm sure somebody else may too. Now, this goes in the All the World's a Stage file from Stefan Huber. Did you know that? I didn't know that, but it explains why SBI shows up so often in recent SEC filing from Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, this is from 2007. Goldman Sachs purchases 50% equity stake in SBI Japan Next. And as you know, SBI owns 10.5% of Ripple, SBI Holdings. So that's All the World's a Stage file. This was an interesting tweet from Blockchain Backer. In December 2017, Bitcoin began a bear market that took 1,095 days to recover from. That was 157 weeks. After 157 weeks, when the new all-time high weekly candle was set for Bitcoin, the SEC claimed XRP was a security. 157 weeks for Bitcoin to reclaim all-time high the day after. Those are some interesting numbers. Now, Stefan Huber reminds us how it started and how it's going. How it started was October 21st, 2021. Katie Hawn Andreessen Horowitz meets with Gary Gensler. And then on December 15th, she leaves Andreessen Horowitz to launch her own fund. I don't know if those are tied together in any kind of way. He just said that's how it started and that's how it's going. John Deaton tweeted this out. The Hinman speech remains on the SEC website. The day the SEC removes it, if they remove it, is the day we know for sure Ethereum folks might be next. All right, Joseph Lubin popped up. This was from like 2 or so days ago. He pops up on it. I don't know where his lawyer is. If I was his lawyer, I would say, stop doing podcasts and interviews, Joe. Stop doing them. Don't talk anymore. But he's not being advised as such.
And I would argue that the nature of money is qualitatively shifting. So that we will have so many different kinds of money. They will be community money or contextual money or tribal money. Certainly nation states will still have money, but all these money systems will be interoperable. And in a world where you can, with an idea, you can form a community, and then you can snap your fingers and create $1 billion worth of your own magic internet money, and your community, if it's really engaged, will accept it to build out what you all care about.
So
I would argue.
So think about this for a minute. While the entire crypto industry, while Ripple's in a lawsuit, while the entire crypto industry is begging and has been begging for years for regulatory clarity, this guy, thinks the SEC is doing a great job, thinks that there is clarity, and now he's telling you, well, you can create $1 billion worth of magic internet money. All you need is a community to go along with it. How bizarro a world do we live in, folks? What in the world? Who is protecting this guy? What in the world is going on? Oh, this is crazy. And even if it was true, okay, why does this guy feel like it's smart to go out here and talk about this while the rest of crypto is begging for clarity and Congress is up there having to work it out? While this guy runs his mouth about how we can whip up a quick $1 billion of magic internet money as long as we have a community around it and whatever he's talking about. Crazy. And that's crazy. Well, what about this?
Very well.
And you remember those Ethereum gas fees that are ridiculous to anybody with an ounce of common sense? Well, here's Joseph Lubin to tell you, well, that's just not true.
Very well right now. People complain about high fees, but the fees are reasonable, and we've got cheaper systems with less security. sopping up some of the excess demand, and that's a great thing.
The fees on Ethereum are reasonable, according to him. So you need to shut up and sit down, because Joseph Lubin said they're reasonable. In other words, he's creating his own reality. Now, speaking of creating their own reality, this is a Bitcoin Maxi Meltem Demirors, however you say her name. It's a Politico article titled "Bitcoin Crashes the Midterms." And she says this year's midterm elections will forever alter the American political landscape and cement the importance of pro-innovation and specifically pro-cryptocurrency policy as a key voter issue. So the Bitcoiners, or the Bitcoin Maxis, now want to co-opt not what they did, because Congress is not paying attention to this because of them. They're paying attention to this because of you and me. And I corrected her. Correction. The XRP army crashed the midterms. No Bitcoin Maxis were even talking about this until, remember, Bitcoin and Ethereum have had this false regulatory clarity all the way from the William Hinman speech till now. And everybody knows it. They didn't care about the rest of the industry. They designed it as such. Now, all of a sudden, they care. But they don't care because they care. They care because the XRP army put them in a position where they better care, because the same SEC that protected them is about to go after them, or could turn it on them. They got scared. So I said, correction, the XRP army crashed the midterms. No Bitcoin Maxis were even talking about this until we began to expose the Ethereum free pass. They didn't care when the SEC went after Ripple. Fear motivates them now because they saw Bitcoin and Ethereum and their fake regulatory clarity in harm's way. That's why they're at the party now. That's why all these people are suddenly acting like they give a rat's behind about the industry getting regulatory clarity. Now, I love this tweet. This guy puts out some interesting tweets. Fed and SEC are trapped in two situations, both of which are difficult. Either they buy back or they will lose complete control of the XRP price. I like that thought pattern. Now, I've told you 1,000 times on this channel, I believe that the whole Bitcoin, Ethereum proof of work thing was coordinated all the way from Wall Street to Silicon Valley over the last X number of years. I believe it included all sorts of fronts, from crypto media to talking heads that they would send out onto CNBC. Only Bitcoin and Ethereum people could even speak on CNBC. We've seen it in the posts on, anytime the XRP price moved just a little bit, you'd start to see the FUD and the attacks. This right here's an interesting tweet. Remember back in 2013 when people were getting paid to FUD Ripple and XRP? People who do stuff like that don't just stop when they get caught. They just try harder not to get caught. After all we've seen, I wouldn't be surprised if the astroturfing campaigns are still ongoing. And this is a clip from a message board where this person says, "This is amazing. If you look at the Ripple giveaway thread, you can see that lots of people were apparently changing their original request post from requesting Ripple's XRP to claiming it's a scam. I was offered $550 to say that Ripple is a scam." Okay, and then there's this. They're all turning, folks. Now, this is important. I said they will make movies about the XRP holders, what XRP holders have done to fight for what's right. Now, this guy, Jake Chervinsky, is a Bitcoin Maxi. Now, he's an attorney as well. Now, look at this. He works for the Blockchain Association, and I have to keep reminding you all, where's the since the Ripple lawsuit dropped, these are supposed to be Blockchain Association, the Chamber of Digital Commerce, Coin Center. They're supposed to be represent the crypto industry. That's how they put themselves out there. But none of them have come out in defense of the Ripple in the SEC case. Not one. And if they have, show it to me. I'll give them full credit, but they haven't. Okay? And it's because they don't represent the industry. They represent Bitcoin and Ethereum, at least until now, until we stirred this thing up. Okay? Now, maybe they do support because they're all coming out like Jake Chervinsky here. No matter your view on Ripple, two things seem clear. They're giving the SEC more trouble than anyone in crypto, maybe more than anyone, period, including Elon Musk. They're leading the dispute on securities law, if only because they'll fight to the death, unlike those who caved and settled. We don't cave because we have the timeline, we have the truth, and we have the video of their own arrogant words. And for that reason, we don't have to cave. We have the better technology. It's faster, more scalable, cheaper than Ethereum and Bitcoin. And everybody knows it. We've always had the truth on our side, so we don't have to cave. All we've ever wanted is a level playing field. And the powers that be have done everything in their power to keep us from having that level playing field. They have literally convinced people like this guy, this AC Grizzle, of things that just aren't true through all of this marketing. I call it the Bitcoin Ethereum marketing machine. Listen to him. Tell me, how XRP is relevant in 2022? No smart contracts, no DeFi, no adoption, and one of the weakest use cases. But please post some more press clippings about how some CBDC is looking into Ripple. It's time to grow up and move on. Matt Hamilton, who works at Ripple, says no DeFi. The XRP ledger was the first blockchain ever with a DEX. It was the first with tokenization, the first with escrows, multi-sigs. It is relevant as it still is the best blockchain for moving value from A to B. Yes, CBDCs are looking into the use of the XRP ledger. And then there's this video. Watch this.
Hi, and welcome back to our series on the XRP ledger. In this episode, we'll define some basics of tokenization. The XRP ledger was the first blockchain to support the tokenization of a variety of assets. This includes stablecoins or other forms of value, anything from US dollars to euros, gold, stocks, and other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum, and even non-fungible tokens that might represent valuable items like pieces of art or cinema tickets. Tokens are often called issued assets, or IOUs, on the XRP ledger. This terminology comes from the fact that these assets do not physically live on the ledger. The IOU represents those items of value outside the ledger. It's what somebody will owe the holder of the token. So if a token is issued on the ledger that represents, say, a piece of art, the person who acquires that token is then owed the art that's represented. And any token on the ledger, including tokens for art, fiat currencies, cryptocurrencies, and more, can all be traded directly on the decentralized exchange, or DEX, which we cover in depth in another episode. Anybody can create a token on the ledger, and they don't need a smart contract to do so. It's a native function, built into the XRP ledger. It's also fairly simple to tokenize an asset. It only takes a few lines of code, or the use of a web interface that walks the creator through the process step by step. To learn more about the fundamentals of the XRP ledger, please watch the next episode.
Good stuff right there. Okay. And then Barry Silbert says, now remember, Barry Silbert's the digital currency group. He's the same guy who bought, whose company, he acknowledged it, I've shown you the tweet, same guy, 2016, they own XRP. And then in 2019, in a Twitter discussion, he says that XRP is not on his conviction list. And I asked him, well, did you sell the XRP that you owned in 2016? Did you sell it, or do you still own it and it's not on your conviction list? And I never got an answer for that. Well, now he says, just had my first Senate candidate reach out to inquire how best to secure the support of the crypto industry in their run for office. And I said, make sure you tell them there are a lot more digital assets than Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything built on Ethereum. The crypto industry as a whole should be represented this time, not the way the venture capital working group did it in 2018, Barry. All right. I want to remind everybody, I was watching Shark Tank the other night. Okay. That's the one with Kevin O'Leary and Mark Cuban, where people come in with their businesses that they own, and they don't, by the way, they don't come in with ideas. It's business, actual businesses. Well, I'm working with these guys at Pitchman. It's pitchmanvc.com. They're looking for, if you're looking for funding and promotion, it says, tell us about your business, and you can click on the contact form and you can send them, you can go and actually send them your idea, not your idea. It's not patents. It's not ideas. This is for actual early stage businesses. So if you've got a website that you can refer them to, you can tell them what it is, and it's targeted mainly, not only, but mainly to fintech. And this is that's what they're trying to do, is see if they can find a fit here with that and match you up possibly with funding as well as promotion, targeted promotion through social media more specifically. Because let's face it, with Shark Tank, when people go to Shark Tank, think about this for a minute. When they go to Shark Tank, they think, okay, I got 3 things how this can benefit me going on Shark Tank. 1, when I go on Shark Tank, even if I don't get a deal, I've got an idea that might be able to get some exposure here, right? So I've got an idea that just by being on the show, I could get some exposure. And then the second thing is, if they do get a deal, they get 2 things. They get the name behind it, and the connections, okay, and they get the funding. All right. Well, that in social media with fintech, it's much more targeted. You go on CNBC and you talk to Mark Cuban or Kevin O'Leary. Those guys have money and they have fame and all that can get you exposure, but it's not near as targeted as fintech in social media. And that's really the heart of this idea here, pitchmenvc.com, is to people that are in fintech, that have businesses that are just starting out, that are either looking for funding or some exposure in a targeted way to the fintech industry. That's what social media is all about, and that's what's appealing about this. So check out, go to pitchmenvc.com to check out. You can submit your company, your website, anything you want them to know about what you got going on, and if it's something that's a fit, they'll reach out. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family to go check out pitchmenvc.com.